Good morning, students. So today you will be learning something about Dbms architecture, which was not explained in my last video. So in my last video, you learned various data models. So today you will be learning something about Dbms architecture. So I will share the screen. Just look at the picture and yes. So this is the three schema architecture. So you can just see here the user level, that is the external view level. Okay, the second level is the conceptual level, and the next one is the physical level or internal schema, that is storing the database. So let me start why it's a three-tier architecture. We will call it as a three-tier architecture or three-level architecture. So why do we call this as a three-tier or three-level architecture? See, this was developed in 1970. Okay, and the main motto of this concept of three-tier architecture is data independence. So why is that data independence? See, I will give you a simple example. You are in the external level, you are in the view level, and you are an end user, and you are using your Gmail, right? You are working with your Gmail. So when you work with the Gmail, what happens? So you can just see in the Gmail, you can see you are storing your important documents, you are storing your pictures, you are storing your marks cards, or anything you will be storing. So in some data you will be storing in the Gmail. So while we are storing, do you know where that actual data is being stored? So you don't know, right? So to know about how it is divided, so how where the actual data is stored, to view or how it looks. So all those things you will be learning in this three-tier architecture. So the three-tier architecture consists of the external level, that is the view level, that is the user level, and the next one is the conceptual level, and we also call it as the logical level, and the third level is the physical level, where the actual database is stored. So let us come up with various examples for all the three different levels, and we will see how the architecture has been designed. Okay, so you can see here the external level, that is a view level. So let me start with the external level or view level. So here I will take an example of university. So before going to that, we can also call it as the schema, three-tier schema architecture or three-level schema architecture. So before knowing all these things, you should know what is this schema, right? So I will tell you in a simple structure. So schema is nothing but a structure. So you can see a table here, right? So which is very much in a structured manner. So here you can have the roll number, right? So this is a student table. Just think this is a student table. So I will call it um, okay. So this is a student table. So in the student table, what are the things is needed for you? So the things which are needed for you is the roll number, okay, the name, the age, the course, and the marks, so which is in a proper structure. So you can, after just seeing with the attributes or the field. So in my last video I had told, while using an relational object oriented data model, it will be in a form of a table, and all the column headings or column names are called attributes, and the complete row is called a tuple, and the complete table we will call it as a relation. So let's see now, when I am telling you these are the fields and this is the structure. So this is having a structure, a perfect structure. So that is called schema. So how does your data look like? It looks like a tabular form. So that is called schema. So schema is nothing but a structure. So now let's move on to the external level. So what happens in this external view or in this external level? So here you can have So I will take an example of university. So you will be given with a login ID and a password, right? So what is that login ID? What is a password? You will be knowing only that. And with the help of that login ID and password, what are the maximum details you are going to get? The maximum details you are going to get is you took an admission in so and so university, okay, and you have how much fees you have paid, and what is your roll number, what is the course you have opted, and how much fees due is there. So all those things, all the details will be explained, will be visible for you. That is why we will call it as view level, or we will call it as a external level. So I will call it as a view level architecture or view level schema. So this is how, yeah, this is the view level schema, what you can see, and that is the external level. So you can see all the details of yours. So coming to this, why so many view levels are there? See, you can just put all the end users in one view level, right? But still we have different view levels. Why? Because if I take this view as a student view, if I take this view as a faculty view. So what all the student can do here? The student can look at his attendance, the student can know about his marks, the student can take his assignments from the particular database. What the faculty can do? The faculty can see his salary details, the faculty can upload the assignments, the faculty can put the marks, upload the marks, all those things. So marks is a common thing, course is a common thing here, which is permitted both for the student as well as the faculty. So what did you understand by this? There is a relationship between the course and the marks. That means in student table also you will be having course and the marks, and in faculty table also you will be having course and the marks. But these views are different. Even though the student and faculty belong to the view level schema or the external level, their views are different. That's why we will be having n number of end users here. Right. So I hope I am clear with the external schema. That is, for example, see, Paytm, right? Flipkart, all those things. Flipkart, the login page, and the details what you check, like which product you are going to buy, and what is the detail you need for men product, the kids product, and the age you will give, and what is it a clothing, is it a toy, all those things, whatever you give, whatever you log in. So that is called the view level schema or external level. Now coming to the second level. So I hope I am clear with the external view level schema, and now let us move to the conceptual schema. So another name for the conceptual schema is also, I can call it as the logical schema or logical level. So what is this logical level? Why it is conceptual? So let me start up with a simple example. So you are planning to construct a house, right? So when you are planning to construct a house, what is the thing you are going to do? So will you get all the cement, bricks, and all the materials to construct the house by yourself? Definitely not, right? So what you will do, you will just give a blueprint. So right, so what is that blueprint? The blueprint is an idea which is given by the so it is given by you, by the developer, and you will give it to the contractor. So you will just tell, this is the 10 by 10 room, this is a 20 by 20, blah blah blah, all those things you will tell, and you will give the blueprint to your to that particular person. So after giving the blueprint to the contractor, so what he will do, he will get the materials, he will get the people, he will get the labor, and he will do with his work, right? He will do his job by his own. So but what do you feel? So when it is a logical schema, when it is related to a database management system, so it gives you the structure of the data, so how it is stored. So that structure of the data, how it is stored, that is only called blueprint. So again I'm repeating, so blueprint is nothing but it gives you the structure of the data, so how it is stored actually. So that is the actual blueprint which you will be knowing. For example, see, if it is a table of a student, so you're looking at the table of a student here. So table needs a structure where it should contain a roll number, it should contain a name, it should contain the age of the student, the course, and the marks. So just think there is another table which is called the faculty table. So the faculty table will contain, again it will contain the course and the marks, and it is structured in that way, like if the faculty will put your marks as 56 out of 70, then this particular student should be able to view his marks as 56 out of 70. So this is how the relation or the table or the relation between the two tables or the structure of the data works. So again, I'm repeating, the conceptual schema is nothing but the structure of the data. So how you have stored the data. So student database means it should have all these particular fields, and these two fields should be related to a teacher database, because the same course the teacher will be teaching you, and the person or the student belongs to the same course, and this is the marks which is uploaded by the teacher, and the same marks has to be uploaded to this particular roll number to this particular student called A. So all those things are needs a structure, a particular schema, a particular blueprint. So that is called the conceptual schema. Now coming to the internal schema. So internal schema is also known as the internal level, or it is also known as the physical schema. So what is this internal schema? So let's see here. So here the DBA is a person. So in the first chapter you have learned what is DBA, that is database administrator. So he is a person where he will be the one who is managing all the data which is stored in this physical level. So what is this physical level actually? So this DBA will decide should the data be is in the file. If the data is in the file, where it should be. If the data is in the disk drive, so how it should be fragmented, how the disk should be fragmented, and should the data be in the form of a table, should the data be in the form of an image file, in the video file, in the audio file. So all those things will be structured and it will be decided by the DBA, and he will be distributing the data in the database in the physical schema. So all those things will be maintained by the DBA. So now you learned what is the end user, that is a viewpoint, what is a conceptual level, that is a blueprint or the actual structure of the data, which is also called logical schema. And what is the physical level? So database administrator. So how actually the data is physically present. So again, I'm repeating. So what you learned here, how the data is physically present. Data is how it is physically, how what you that this is the thing what you have learned in the third level, that is the physical level or the structural schema. So how the actual data is present. So now let me just join all the three levels and give you a simple example. Okay, so DBA is the person who maintains all the things where the data to be stored, where it has to be done, how it has to be maintained, where it is actually physically present. It is called the physical schema. So the physically present data, we will call it as the database administrator. So he will manage all the things. Now, who is going to manage in conceptual data? So the designer is going to manage in the conceptual data. So I will call him as the database designer. So database designer, so he will be able to manage the logical level, means he will give the blueprint how it has to be done. He will just give you the blueprint, but the DBA is the person will take all the data from the logical level and he will decide which data to be stored in which database, in which format it has to be stored, and actually where it is stored. So database designer work with this level, and all the viewers and the external, the person who is a developer, so I can call him as a developer. Okay, so he will be a developer who will be working with the external level. So he will be using to design his pages some of the front end things like advanced Java, HTML, PHP. All these things will be designed by the top level, I mean the external level or the external user. So that level comes under the end user, that is the external user. So the same Flipkart example I will give. So the developer, what he will do, he will use HTML or PHP or Java to develop a front page. And after developing a front page, what he will do, he will give you the access, he will give you the provision to log in, to create your password, to change your password, and to view what are the products available. And when he plays the order, when the user will play the order here, again I will tell, there are two views, the developer view and the customer view. This is another example what I'm telling now. So this can be a developer, this can be a customer again, right? So what he is going to order, what order is placed by the customer, and that will be taken up, and all those things will be managed by the developer. So which you can see, which you can view, so which is externally viewed to you. And when coming to the conceptual data, this is done by the database designer. So the designer will take the order and he will place the order in such a way that it has to go and sit in the database. So now what he will just give the blueprint, the order is, this is the order, this is the amount, this is the debit card which is used by the customer. So in the bank the amount has been credited, or if it is cash on delivery, all those things will be taken care by the database designer. So which order, everything will be taken care by the database designer, and the developer will give you the front page or the view level which will be helpful for the customers. Now in the third level, it's DBA who is going to take, so that money will be sent to the bank. Think this is the database where it is related to the bank database. This is related to the stock room. So is it the stock available? Yes, if the stock available, then only the designer will tell that you can just buy the product. And the next another database will be the delivery boy. So what he will be the, or the delivery section, we can call it as a delivery section. So like how it can be delivered and at what date you have to deliver, all those things will be taken care by the database. Again it is again you have to get back to the designer, where he will be giving you the messages like so and so time you will be receiving the thing. And if you want to see what you have ordered, again you have to go to the external level or the view level. So and now coming to the last database, this particular, the last physical database is divided into two types. So one is the centralized, is the centralized database, and another one, the distributed database. Centralized database. So centralized database is nothing but all the data are dumped in one place. Every data you have to take up from the stored database, you have to use it, and again you will get back to that. But nowadays, since any database or anything is, it will be maintained under distributed, because if it is very huge, like bank is different, stock is different, delivery is different. So what example they have shown is distributed database. So if you just give one cylinder kind of a diagram, then that will become a database. That is the logo of the database, the cylinder. So you can write like this, or the single cylinder you can just put, and you can mention that it is a physical level database. Okay, so this is the three-tier architecture where you in detail learned about the external level, the conceptual level, and the internal level. So I hope this video is useful for you to know what is a three-tier architecture, DBMS three-tier architecture. In my next video, I will be posting you the ER model, that is entity relationship model, where you will be having notations or the symbols, and how you can write the ER diagrams, that is entity relationship diagram. So so let's wind up the class now. Thank you. See you all.